Ladies and gentlemen, I am in the presence of wrestling royalty today, the greatest intercontinental champion of all time, the Honky Tonk Man.
Great, man. Hey, that's a fine introduction right there. He didn't mess it up at all. The greatest intercontinental champion of all time. Man, it's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be anywhere right now, I can tell you. And I've been, 40, almost 50 years. They're cheering for somebody now. Anyway, almost 50 years in the business, and if I had to do it all again, I'd do it all the same.
It's a blessing we're still here, isn't it? It's a blessing to get up every morning, be able to be in an event like this, WrestleCon, at the Huntington Place in the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan, which was a mecca of wrestling back in the day and still is. Honky Tonk, you had a great run. What do you think, what was your favorite feud, or what was your favorite person to wrestle? Do you have one of those?
I always say that the guy I made the most money with, and I had a really good run with Macho Man Randy Savage. I wish I would have had that Hogan run. Yeah, brother, biggest arms in the world, brother. But I never got that run. I was the Intercontinental Champion, so I was on shows away from Hogan and never reaped that big reward that was. But I had a great time, and I always said it's a long-term investment. It finally paid off. I'd been around about 15 years before I came to WWE.
Wow.
And
you paid your dues.
And then after WWE, of course, I started doing all sorts of stuff and running wild and had a good time. And it's been good for me.
You say you wish you were on that show, but you were the Intercontinental Champion. You were a draw yourself. Yeah, that's why they put you where they put you, because they know you were going to bring people into the arena.
Yeah, wherever Macho Man and I went, we turned the crowds away, and then Hogan would be somewhere. He was turning crowds away. And it was a great time back then. It was good for the fans. It was good. It was good, clean family entertainment is what people were looking for, and that's what we gave them.
That was a great time when the WWF was taking the world over. I love that stuff.
It really was a takeover, and it all moves so fast, and you never think it's going to end, but it does. And of course, everything changes. It's not the same business it was when I was around, and everything has to evolve, and I understand that. But they're packing them in over here. It's going to be a full house for this SummerSlam.
58,000.
What can you say,
Not much. It's unbelievable. Can I pick your brain about a couple of guys while we're talking?
Sure.
I wonder what your thoughts are on Kamala.
Gosh, he was a great guy. I love being around him, and I'd been around him and met him before I was in WWE. And, terrible thing happened with his health as time went on and everything, but just a sweetheart of a guy, first-class gentleman.
How about Sherry Martel? Have any interactions with her?
I met Sherry when she was dancing at the club in Memphis. She had come up from New Orleans and was dating one of the wrestlers and moved up to Memphis. And she was working at Danny's Cabaret there, and that's where I met her many, many years ago. And then she said she was going to go wrestle, and she did. And she turned out to be a very, very good wrestler. And she was a good Peggy Sue for us.
Oh, baby.
She was my Peggy Sue, my girlfriend Peggy Sue.
Absolutely. She was awesome, man.
Yeah. She was a good girl.
How about one of the premier managers back in the day, Slick?
Oh, gosh, he was something else, too. Another first-class gentleman. I loved traveling with him, sharing rooms with him. I saw him about 2 years ago. We had one of these WrestleCons, and he was there, and we reminisced a little bit. And, hey, he's a bona fide preacher. He had a church, and then they tried to make him a pimp on TV, and he would have to tell his congregation, look, I'm not, this is just something I'm doing now. I'm not a pimp. But
that's wrestling.
Yeah. And he was a great guy. And, of course, his dad was a great wrestler, too.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, his dad was Rufus R. Jones.
Oh, I know that name. I never knew that was his dad. I never put that together.
Freight Train Rufus R. Jones, yeah.
Wow, man, that's awesome. I'll tell you what, man, sitting here talking with you, man, it brings back all kinds of great memories, that's for sure. How about Tully Blanchard?
Tully was a great guy. I worked out in Texas. After my mother passed away, I needed a place to work, and Buck Robley was the booker. And I went out there in Texas for Tully and Tully's dad, Joe Blanchard. Joe ran the territory. Joe was a big wrestling star around this area when he was younger, and then he moved to Texas and opened up the promotion. And I worked out there with Tully. I like Tully and haven't seen him in a couple of years now, but he's always pleasant, nice to be around.
You know, it's really sad when our parents pass away, isn't it? Because, you know, as we're growing up, they're the pillars of our world, you know, and then we have to come into the real world and realize that they're mortal just like us.
But the thing is this, it's some people bring me these posters, you know, like the WrestleMania 3 from here in Detroit many years ago. And you look on that poster, though, and it's like only 2 or 3 guys are still alive, me being one of them, and everyone else on there's passed away. It's a sad thing in our business, too, that we've lost so many guys at young age, not 70s and 80s. We lost them in their 40s and 50s.
It's very sad. You know, I don't really believe that the wrestling fans understand exactly what goes into being a professional wrestler, how you have to devote your life to it. You have to give your life to it. You have to get away from your family. You have to take everything good away and be there.
It's not easy. If it was easy, I'll say this, if something was so easy, everybody would do it. But pro sports and entertainment is a tough, hard grind. Now, I'm not going to say that standing over here on the factory floor for 8 hours a day is not a hard grind either for 30 years to do that. My hat's off to those people. But, you know, it takes desire, dedication, and hard work, and you'll succeed no matter what you do.
You're talking about the people that helped build America.
Yes.
Thank God for them, eh? You know, Honky, it's been a great talking with you, man. This is, once again, I'm in the presence of wrestling royalty.
I'm more than just a pretty face, right?
Yes, you sure are. Thank you very much, my friend.
Yes, thank you.
Have a great day. Enjoy.
Thank you so much.